Your paycheck drops into your account. Feels like you just killed a mammoth. 3 days later, you're hunting berries in the grocery store clearance bin wondering where all the meat went. Every caveman knows this feeling. You store food for winter. You plan. You work. But somehow the cave stays empty. Here's what your primitive brain doesn't see. Modern inflation is a silent freeze. It doesn't announce itself with a storm. It just makes your stored food worth less every single morning you wake up. By the time this video ends, you'll know exactly which predators are eating your winter storage while you sleep. Brandon figured it out, went from checking his bank account at 3 in the morning to building a reserve that survived 6 months of financial winter. Not because he earned more, because he stopped feeding the wrong fires. You're not crazy. Prices are climbing faster than a saber-tooth up a tree. But here's the problem with inflation that nobody talks about. Your brain still thinks in last year's berries. You remember when ground beef was cheaper, when rent didn't feel like a predator bite, when gas didn't empty your hunting bag before you even started the week. Your caveman instincts are screaming that something's wrong, but you can't see the enemy because it doesn't attack all at once. It takes small bites, $1 more for milk, $2 extra for eggs, $5 vanished from your weekly grocery run. These aren't big wounds, so you ignore them. You adapt. You tell yourself it's fine. Except it's not fine, because while you're adapting, your stored resources are rotting. That emergency fund you built last year, it buys less today. The money you're saving for next winter, inflation is eating it faster than you're adding to it. You're running on a treadmill that keeps speeding up and the finish line keeps moving backward. Ancient cavemen understood a simple truth. Winter always comes. If you didn't store enough mammoth meat when hunting was good, your tribe starved when snow hit. Modern humans forgot this. We think paychecks mean security. We think credit cards mean backup plans. But inflation is teaching us the same brutal lesson our ancestors learned 10,000 years ago. If your storage system has holes, you freeze. Think of your money like fire in a cave. You need it burning to survive winter. But there are 3 fires most people keep lit that are burning through their wood faster than they realize. Fire 1, the subscription burn. You're paying for streaming services you forgot existed, gym memberships you haven't used since spring, apps that auto-renew while you sleep. Each one feels small. $9 here, $15 there. Your brain says it's not worth the hassle to cancel, but add them up over 12 months and you're burning $500 to $800 of firewood on flames that give you no warmth. Fire 2, the convenience tax. Every time you order delivery instead of cooking, you're paying someone else to bring berries to your cave. That $12 burger costs $8 at the restaurant. The $4 fee plus $3 tip. That's pure waste. Do this 3 times a week and you've burned $1,500 a year on convenience that inflation makes more expensive every month. Fire 3, the emergency leak. You don't have a separate fire for emergencies, so when your car breaks down or your tooth cracks, you pull wood from your main fire. You go into debt. You drain savings. You borrow from tomorrow to survive today. This fire never stops burning because you never built a wall around your winter storage. Your primitive brain says these are necessary. Modern life requires subscriptions. Everyone orders food sometimes. Emergencies happen to everyone. But that's the trap. You're normalizing fires that shouldn't exist while wondering why your cave stays cold. Here's what ancient tribes understood that modern humans forgot. You don't store resources during winter. You store them before winter arrives. And winter always arrives. Brandon, 32, warehouse supervisor, married 4 years to Michelle, one son Luca's age 6. Salary $3,100 per month, rent $1,200. He was the guy who checked his bank balance at 3:47 every morning, hands shaking. $53 left. 11 days until payday. Tuesday morning, October 9th, boss offered overtime. Brandon thought, can't say no, need every dollar, sat in his car after shift. Opened app, -$41, overdraft again. 11 days left. He stared at that red number for 17 minutes. One thought burned in his mind, 32 years old and I can't even make it through 2 weeks. Friday, October 12th. He made a decision that felt impossible, stopped feeding the wrong fires, created a separate account, named it winter storage. Before paying anything else on payday, transferred $320, left himself with $2,780. Every bill, every payment, every expense had to fit in what remained. Day 7, declined lunch with coworkers. Saving for something, he said, packed leftovers, saved $19. Day 12, Michelle asked, can we order pizza tonight? Brandon almost pulled from winter storage, almost, instead said, let me make something. Saved $28. Day 23, car needed tires, $540. Brandon's hand hovered over winter storage, but he'd only saved $320. Instead, he worked 3 overtime shifts, paid cash. Winter storage stayed untouched. Month 4, opened winter storage account, $1,280, first real reserve of his life, stared at the number for 5 minutes, closed app, opened again, still there, slept 9 hours that night without checking his phone once. Michelle said one Sunday afternoon, you haven't panicked about money in weeks. What changed? Brandon smiled, stopped burning wood on fires that don't keep us warm. He didn't become rich, became someone who stopped waking at 3:47 to check if his tribe would survive winter. Right now, you're feeding fires you don't even know exist. They're burning your wood in the background while you wonder why you never have enough for winter. Ancient cavemen did something every modern human forgets. They counted their resources. They knew exactly how much meat they had stored, how many days it would last, which predators were trying to steal it. You need to do the same thing with your money, but you need to do it through a caveman's eyes, not through your modern brain that's been trained to ignore small losses. Open your bank app, not to check your balance, to hunt for predators. Look at your last 30 days of transactions. Find 3 things: subscriptions you forgot existed, fees you didn't notice, and small repeated purchases that add up to big burns. That coffee habit, $45 a month. That streaming service you use twice, $16. That convenience store stop on your way home from work, $68 monthly. These aren't judgment calls. This isn't about denying yourself joy. This is about seeing clearly. Your caveman ancestors didn't shame themselves for eating berries. They just made sure they weren't letting saber-tooths eat their winter mammoth storage while they slept. You're doing the same thing. You're identifying which fires are worth keeping lit and which ones are burning through your wood for no reason. Here's your next 30 days. Pick 3 fires to put out. Not all of them. 3. Cancel 1 subscription. Replace 1 convenience purchase with something you make yourself. Say no to 1 social expense that doesn't actually matter to you. Take that money and transfer it straight to your winter storage account the day you would have spent it. You know what separates tribes that survived winter from tribes that starved? The survivors never waited until snow hit to start storing. They built their reserves when hunting was good, when berries were everywhere, when the sun was still warm. Inflation is the modern winter. It's not coming. It's here, right now. While you're reading this, your stored money is worth less than it was yesterday. Not by much, but enough that if you wait another month, another season, another year to start protecting it, You'll find yourself in January with an empty cave wondering why you're so cold. The tribes who made it through harsh winters had three things in common. They stored more than they thought they needed, they protected what they stored from predators, and they never touched their winter reserves unless actual winter arrived. You need to do the same. Winter storage isn't your vacation fund. It's not your maybe I'll buy that thing money. It's not your I had a bad day and need takeout safety valve. It's your survival reserve for when actual emergencies hit, when your car dies, when your hours get cut, when your tooth cracks and insurance doesn't cover it. That's when you open winter storage, pull out exactly what you need and close it again. Modern humans confuse wants with emergencies. Your caveman ancestors never made that mistake. They knew the difference between I'm hungry now and I will starve this winter if I eat today's storage. You need to relearn that distinction because inflation is making it more important every single month. Your goal isn't to hoard everything like a dragon. It's to build enough reserve that when winter hits, when prices spike again, when your hours get cut or your expenses jump, you don't panic. You don't go into debt. You don't make desperate decisions that cost you more in the long run. You just open winter storage, use what you need, and keep building it back up when hunting improves. Here's what happens in the next 60 seconds. You're going to grab your phone, open your banking app, look at your last 7 days of spending. Find the 3 fires burning your wood the fastest. Write them down. Tomorrow morning, before you check social media, before you do anything else, you're going to cancel one subscription. Transfer that monthly cost straight to a separate account. Name it winter storage, not emergency fund, not savings. Winter storage. Because your primitive brain needs to understand what this money is for, surviving when resources get scarce. Day 3, look at your convenience spending. That daily coffee stop, that lunch you buy instead of pack, that delivery order because cooking felt hard. Pick one, just one. Replace it with something you make yourself. Save that money. Add it to winter storage the same day. Day 7, check your winter storage. You should have between $50 and $150 sitting there. It's not much, but it's more than you had last week. And it's protected, separate, untouchable except for real winter. Month 2, you'll have somewhere between $250 and $400. Still not enough to survive a full winter, but enough that when your tire blows or your kid needs medicine, you don't panic. You don't go into debt. You just handle it. Month 6, you'll wake up one morning and realize you haven't checked your bank balance in 3 days. Not because you're ignoring your money, because you're not terrified of it anymore. You've built enough reserve that small emergencies don't feel like extinction events. Comment winter secured if you found your 3 money-burning fires, and put out at least one today. If you're the type who refuses to freeze while predators eat your stored resources, the video on screen shows you how to build a reserve that survives any financial winter without sacrificing everything that makes life worth living. Like this video. Share it with someone still checking their bank balance at 3 in the morning wondering where their mammoth went. Subscribe because every week I show you how to go from paycheck panic to financial security using the same survival instincts your ancestors trusted for 10,000 years. And drop in the comments, what's the biggest fire burning through your winter storage right now? Let's identify these predators together so your tribe survives when everyone else is still hunting berries in a blizzard.
Thank you.